We pour so much energy into the conversations we have with others, yet rarely stop to reconsider the ones we have with ourselves. During everyday social settings, we choose our words carefully, knowing that each one can do real harm. Yet when it's our own alter ego we're speaking to, we don't have such caution. The truth is, your internal conversations matter much more than those happening externally. What you say to yourself on a daily basis determines how you appear to others. Every thought you give energy to projects outwards and shapes the very reality you experience. With any problem, any challenge, any difficulty that you may face, all you have to do is say the 3 words to remind yourself of the power that was within you all along. As human beings, we have this natural tendency to externalize the source of our emotions. Our mood can drastically change along with the smallest triggers in our environment. A random person can say something mean to us, and suddenly we are spiraling into anger and frustration. The other person gives us a compliment, and we are elevated into euphoria. Within a single day, our emotional state can swing from high to low and back again, leaving us at the mercy of everything outside of us. Unfortunately, as long as your internal state depends on external stimulation, you will never be able to keep your frequency aligned due to the law of polarity. Everything in the universe is made up of 2 opposing parts: good and bad, love and hate, hot and cold, success and failure, light and darkness. Every high is preceded and will eventually be followed by its polar opposite. In other words, the universe will always find a way to throw some bullshit at you, no matter how strong, disciplined, and well-educated you are. Therefore, if you are to base your emotional state on things outside of you, you will be forever on a swing, dragging you up and down. When something goes right, you feel like you are on top of the world. When something goes wrong, you feel like the whole world is against you. Unfortunately, the universe does not tip the scales. The only thing it is interested in is maintaining balance, keeping you in the physical equivalent of your mental circumstances. If internally there is chaos, your external will look exactly the same. You will go 1 step ahead, only to be dragged 2 back. If you wish to alter your reality, your internal state has to be absolutely bulletproof to any of that external stimulations. This works on both sides. If the external can lift you up, it can also drag you down. Every time you give it the permission to influence your emotional state, you also give it the permission to keep smacking you around. The only way to break free is not to try controlling the external, but to rise above it from within. The first thing most people do after going through something unpleasant is escape into anything that makes them forget. We run from it, going for distractions of all kinds, without realizing that it only deepens the hole. What you resist persists. Once a particular event influences your emotional state on a deeper level, it's not only a matter of momentary conscious downfall, but a scar on the subconscious. Your subconscious mind registers all emotional signatures, and once a particular event triggers some intense reaction, it's being pushed down deep into the subconscious. That's why experiencing one particularly emotionally charged event is often enough to cause trauma for years to come. Once your subconscious accepts it as truth, fighting it is never the solution. The only way out is to face it and transmute it. What you have to do with any physical constraints that arise, such as fear, doubt, insecurity, is to look at it directly. Sit down and try to trace it back to its roots. As you do this, what will probably happen is that all those negative feelings will arise all at once. You don't engage, suppress, or wrestle with them in any way, just observe. After some time, your mind will go clear, the chaos will calm, and they will eventually pass through. Once you enter this particular state of stillness, you can rid yourself of the weight those feelings placed upon you, but this is also when you can transcend them into their polar opposites. What you have to realize is that none of those emotional states are absolute. They are all the same energy. What differentiates them is their rate of vibration. The same way as hot or cold is only a matter of temperature, fear and courage are the same energy vibrating at different rates. The way to alter your vibration is by altering your concentration. What you can do is to utilize your imagination and recreate any particular scenario that triggered the emotion in a way that indicates its very opposite. When someone said something to you that made you feel insecure, see this exact person saying something that makes you feel confident. Apply this to your life. Whatever your circumstances may be, this method works 100% of the time. Acknowledge your emotional pattern, enter the state of stillness, and transmute it to its opposite. Replay it over and over again to the point where it sinks deep into your subconscious mind. As you keep doing this, the pattern of your subconscious mind will no longer be a reflection of whatever life throws at you. It will be a product of your own making. And any time when physical world wants to drag you back into the old emotional baseline, you have to remind yourself of the one thing in particular. For millennia, all spiritual schools were trying to tell humanity one thing. Every central religious figure, whether it's Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, or Hermes, is an esoteric representation of the highest state of consciousness, a state beyond the three-dimensional constraints, a state above time, above space, above limitations, a state in which the internal dictates the external, not the other way around. None of those ancient teachings were ever about worshipping anything outside of you, but realizing the divine power within you. The stories of miracles, healings, or walking on water are all metaphors of internally shifting to a degree where you are above the constraints of the physical world. Not reacting emotionally to circumstances, not being enslaved by appearances, not identifying with the illusions of the physical world about who you are. We have all been blessed with the supernatural gift, imagination. You can create an entire alternate reality of your own making and live in it until it proves real. You can transcend time and create years of memories pre-living your desired reality. You can blur the lines between vision and reality with a train of thought. By the time, you will no longer have to force yourself to make it happen, but simply materialize what had already happened. The moment you convince yourself, convincing the world will come naturally. Your frequency aligns and you are compelled to take action. You are the creator and the reality is your universe. And any time your old frequency plays tricks on you and tries to gaslight you into considering yourself as someone other than who you have imagined, say to yourself these 3 words. Say it to yourself when you wake up. Say it to yourself when you go about your day. Say it to yourself when you go to sleep. I am God. If you are ready to take your game to the next level, I created an entire playbook containing everything you need to know to bridge the gap between imagination and execution. Based on the lives of figures who turned the most delusional visions into a reality, it will give you practical steps you can gradually follow.